Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Sorry I haven't made one in a long time. Life's gotten really busy, tournaments gotten really busy, but I figured I'd make one on this one because it is a regional champion winning deck. This is listed Justin Bokhari, myself, and Kian Amini piloted. Joao and Gabriel Semedo put a lot of time into the list and got it to where it should be. Henry Brand took it to a top eight. So the list that Henry took to top eight was like the first draft. And then after more edits, Joao and Gabriel got to like a list that was like three cards off of this, I want to say. And then I showed up and I put in my little bit of 2 cents and input, and we tweaked it to um, what I kind of suggested at the very end. But most of the like groundwork had already been done by the time I got there because I landed in San Diego at midnight. So I messaged Justin earlier in the week saying, "What about Guznag? Why is Guznag bad? I feel like the meta is going in a way where Guznag could come back. People aren't playing Latios. Tag Purge is kind of leaving. Mewtwo is a little bit on the downswing for this coming weekend, like blah, blah, blah." And then he said, "What if we play Baby Blown and Power Plants to try to beat Mewtwo?" And I said, "Okay, sure, let's try it." So he tried it for me. I didn't do any games. And then we were talking, and then we got here, and then he said the TinaChomp version was doing a lot better. It was testing a lot better. So let's try that out. Why not? And I said, okay, that's fine. Let's do that. And then so we played a couple games. It favored against most things. And we, got in there and called it a day. So here's a list, three TinaChomp. I'll kind of explain all the cards because me and Justin both talked, and Kian, all three of us, and we felt like we used every single card numerous times. Like the deck was perfect. You needed three TinaChomp just because you need two usually in a game. So Guznag, sorry, let me explain what this guy does. Linear attack does 40, and 40 puts a lot of pressure on a lot of things because Calamitous Slash can be procced pretty easily on your following turn, given the Karate Belt, given the counter gain, given the popping in the Mismagius with the greens. And if you have the Karate Belt, you can GG end as well on the following turn. So the 40 damage that you do with linear attack can set up a lot of things, especially because if your opponent knocks it out presumptuously without doing anything, you can just go Stand Plant to 1, push up or Stand Plant to 2, push up a 1-prizer like a Mischievous or something, and then just set up again on the bench and take your time. I got it, Guzzlord. I know he is a little bit counterintuitive to the strategy because of the greens exploration of the deck, and you can't use it if you open him. But the flip turn is the 180 from Jet Pierce is so incredibly good against ADP, especially on any turn you bump the plant rather than doing the 40 into the 160. You can just simply 180, 180, 180, and then with the B string you can set up a chaotic order checkmate turn more often than not against a lot of control decks as well as ADP. Because yeah. The Baby Bullcephalon was a cute idea that Justin had that I think was really, really good because it gives you a really good answer to a lot of decks, Blowns, or Pidgey, sorry, the Roxy deck that I ended up playing against twice, Dullstall, and I know with the three Mismagius we have, it is a little bit hard to pop all three to get there, but the idea is that you definitely can, and if not, you can keep using the Bullcephalon until they have to bring up an answer. So TinaChomp will take prizes into the Bullcephalon, into, you've got time. 4-3 Mismagius. The fourth Mismagius is something we were really looking forward to. We wanted to find space for it. We tried, but we couldn't make a cut anywhere that, we couldn't make a cut. We legitimately couldn't make a cut. One B string. B string has synergy with both the Guznag and the Bullcephalon, which is really good because the Bullcephalon can be set up in one turn, and the Guznag can also be set up with a checkmate position there. Granted, the Guznag can't be set up in one turn immediately with the greens unless you have a counter gain or something already in hand, but the Baby Blonde can. 2 Duststone. We felt like this card wasn't needed more than 2 because you're not really trying to pop off turn 1 and go nuts. But you can have a big, insane mid-game turn if you need to. And a Duststone also acts as just like a free search. 1 Energy Spinner, just a free energy off of greens, which is really, really good to me. 2 Great Catcher. The debate was that we could play customs as well, like Henry Brand did, but I think Great Catchers, like both of them, were just really good throughout the day, and I didn't regret playing them at all. 3 Mysterious Treasures. 4th was also something card we wanted, but it felt like 3 was, enough. We got what we needed to get, and it was good. 3 Gear, just consistency. 3 Stamp, and 4 Plant was the big, end-all, be-all, we need to just kind of stabilize long enough to win the game kind of thing. And the process, our opponent knows these are coming, so they're going to be exhausting resources in the process. So decks like Mewtwo abilities they can't really have a good answer to it, right? They're going to exhaust themselves. 1 switch to get out of some tricky situations. For Tag Call, this card is the most broken card of the deck. It gets you pretty much every piece you need to get. A Tag Call gets you your attacker, your energy, your tool, your stadium. Like, it's nutty, honestly, to me. This is the best card in the deck to get everything you need. For Plant, you need them to just do stuff. Cynthia Caitlyn, there's 3 of them because you do get to recycle. And I'll come to the last minute addition that I made to the deck that was, I guess, pretty obvious, but we just, I guess, didn't think about it till I got there. Cynthia Caitlyn acts like a VS Seeker still, can do big turns the next turn. Faba plus Plant, the drill beats ADP, so the matchup gets really, really favorable with the Faba, and then you can Cynthia Caitlyn it back. Greens, broken. Getting any 2 cards at any time. Greens has always been a very good card. I've played Greens multiple times. I've played Green Zard. I played a lot of Greens variants, and I think Greens is like one of the most broken cards in the game. It's just you have to learn how to build the deck, and it is a very high skill ceiling card. And I can tell you, honestly, I did not play perfectly throughout the tournament. So, Guzmahala is not an amazing card by any means, but in ADP and in this deck, it gets you every single thing you need. An energy attachment, a tool, and a power plant. And that's all the only things you need in every single scenario with this deck. So it's a perfect card. We've debated going down to 1 to make room for the 4th Mismagius, but I think after playing a couple games, I decided that there's no way we go below 2 because I was the vote splitter in this situation. So this is the last minute strategy. This is the last minute card that I added to the deck that I think that was actually the lifeblood of the deck. Not to take credit away from anyone else, but I think this was a miracle card for all of us over the course of the weekend. Surge is so good because you can pop it, dictate it. You can Greens turn 1 for the Surge, do the Mismagius play, Surge on turn 2, play the Cynthia Caitlyn, get the Surge back, and then do whatever else you want to do. And you get 3 cards on top of that, plus another supporter, which is it's just incredibly amazingly broken to me. And the combo was just actually very easy to set up multiple times throughout the tournament. So 1 Mal and Lana, just to have the healing option / switch out, 1 counter gain, and 1 karate belt, and the difference is we played 1 of each because karate belts is 1 fighting less, so GGN can be used as opposed to the colorless less on the counter gain. And on the flip side, we did want a second counter gain as well, so we thought about it, but we didn't have space. 2 rainbow and 2 units, but I think 4 rainbow would have been fine, honestly, because the unit 1 time served to hurt me because I did think I had the correct entity to slash, but I prized the last rainbow, so I could not put the Guzmahala to get the unit energy. So I think the difference doesn't really matter. I think 4 rainbows is fine. So this is a change that I'd probably make. The only thing, this energy swapping is whatever. 1 weakness card to deal with Guardy and all these fairy decks that were popping up. It's a pretty auto-win card, honestly. 2 fighting, 3 psychic, same old. And without that, let's get into a tournament report. So round 1, I hit a Dullstall, and my opponent didn't really know what was going on. And so game 1, I ended up actually prizing this guy. So I didn't know what to do. And he opened Mew, so I went 40. And then he did his turn, and I did 40 again to the Mew. That was left active to knock it out. And then a couple turns went by. He fed me like a Jirachi. He fed me a Jirachi. I go down to 3. I think he fed me one more thing. And then I GG ended his Mew. And he conceded to go to game 2 to give himself enough time to play the second game. And game 2, I had the Baby Blown. I got the 3 Mismagius off in that game, and I got this off turn 2. It was a pretty hot turn, and then I just went 12, knock out 2. I think I knocked out Jirachi, Flabebe, and one other thing. I put damage on something, and I did knock out the other Flabebe because I didn't care, because I was just taking out his Jirachis, because that's like the blood of his deck. Because they need time to set up and find more cards, because Jirachi will always find a 4th card plus the Stevens, so they get 4 cards every turn. So it's a stamp combination. You just lost pretty quickly. Round 2, I hit a Dark Box playing Persian GX, the Smug Face one with a bunch of red and blue targets. Game 1 was not close. I kind of just swept him. And then game 2 got a little bit scary because I did forget that the Baby Guzzlord takes an extra prize. But he did have to set up like a 2-shot on it, so Mallow and Lana, plus me I set up a perfect board where no matter what he did, I would just have the knockout the next turn. So I ended up 2-ing a Dark Box, which is an interesting game. Yeah. Game 3 up against JC from Team Taste playing Ability Zard, and both games were pretty much I will let you take the first knockout, and then I will have already done 40. I set up for the plant stamp knockout, And yeah, he got me with he made a very cute pyro. His Ditto became a pyro one of the games, and it was really scary for me because he wiped out a lot of my energy on the board. But I just could linear attack and set up while setting up my guy on the bench. And then in game two, that Ditto, the moment it hit board, I linear attacked it immediately because Zip Strike Ice is out to get out of that. So was a good matchup for me. Went good, and I can't complain too much. Fourth round was where I started playing a little bit poorly. I played against Green's ADP deck. Green's ADP means no Keldeo, so he's doing stuff. I didn't realize it was Green's for a little bit. And so game one, I'm doing all this stuff. I popped double Mismagius for no reason. And he GXs, and then I prized them all on mana, so I ended up giving up 4 prizes to lose the game on one guy because I'm stupid. And then games 2 and 3 both went very similarly, where he went for the turn 2 GX, and I went for the turn 2 GGN to respond and discard his ADP. And then because he didn't have Keldeos, I was able to just poke the other ADPs. He would go Helmet, I would go Faba, and then I would go knockout, knockout. Like I literally just went knockout, 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 pretty much like every other turn. And while setting up 2 TinaChomps, so he could not win the set. It got dangerously close to a tie because ADP does take a lot of work to kill. So it did come out of that. The fifth round, I went up against another Dostal, and I played horrendously this time. Game 1, I got to the 3. I got greedy. I had the other Mismagius. I had everything in deck. I just felt super greedy, and I went for the Bucephalon at 4. No. Yeah, 4. She was at 4, and I went for the Bucephalon play because I was going to knock out there was no Jirachi or anything. So I did that. And then she went, drew for turn. I stamped as well to 4, so she was 5 in hand. She goes Gear, hits the Oak Snoo setup, gets the Oak setup off to get the Spirit Tomb with 1 bench slot, puts the Spirit Tomb down, attaches her 1 Rainbow, snaps the Dolan, and then knocks me out, and that pretty much lost the game for me, which kind of sucked. But then around the next game, I pretty much got the combo off. I didn't get it off immediately because I did prize one of the pieces, but I just was able to, like, Doll has to feed you 2 to 3 prizes here and there, so, yeah, and then game 3, there was a play I made where, like, I had knocked out one of her Mews, and she had 1 Mew left, and so in my mind, I'm thinking if I could just GG either the Mew or the Snack Search, I can stabilize and just start baby blonning, and start sniping for a little bit and just chilling because we didn't have enough time for her to mill me out at that point. And then I announced GGN with Skypillar in play, and I didn't understand Skypillar stopped effects as well. I had a counter stadium, I had everything in hand. It just completely slipped my mind that was a thing. So I was not allowed to, my GX attack is obviously gone. I targeted something on the bench that cannot be targeted. It can be targeted, just nothing can happen to it. So my GX is gone. The game plays out, and then on turn 0 of time, she Brysoned my entire deck. So it is what it is. I messed up. It was a game that was entirely winnable on my end. I completely threw the game, but the deck is hard to play, and I was, yeah. Round 6, I went up against a Mewtwo tag team slow version, similar to the second place LAIC list, and the Australia list that was Matthew Burris and I think Kaiwin both won their tournaments with respectively. Basically, both games went very similarly. He didn't get much going. I got the linear attack poke off. My plants stuck. I got the stamp to 1 both games and wiped his board of energy, and he just conceded. And it was another, 2-0. Yeah, and then round 7, I went up against the eventual top 4 finisher. I forget his name. Playing ADP, not Diego, the other guy. And both games were just like, get the Guznag into play, get everything onto the Guznag, and then it's a battle of Faba plant kind of thing. And he like stamped me at one point to 3. And then it was a weird turn where he like decided to stamp me to 3 with 2 Caldeos in play. And then switched into a Giraffe Rig to get rid of my Faba, which I think is it's a good play. But then I just looked at him, I knocked out the Giraffe, and then he brought up something attached to Caldeo Pass, and I just chaotic ordered for game. So the matchup was super easy. Into day 2, gotta play the next one, try to get some points, put myself in a better position for top 8. I hit Baby Vlions. Game 1 actually goes entirely in my favor because I get I got a double snap on Pidgey. He misses Welder for like 3 or 4 turns, so I got incredibly lucky. And then I baby blind, and then like it felt super easy. And then game two, that was not the case. I got rolled pretty quickly. And then game three, he got the turn two knockout on my TinaChomp, and I had no backup or nothing, so I quickly lost that one. I go to 6-2. Allen also my top 8, I believe, so good for him. And then I ID'd my ninth round just because I was so playing badly. I didn't know the matchup. I just decided I need to play good tomorrow, and I'll just get some sleep. So going into day two, me and Justin both felt like we had pretty good matchups. There was only like the baby Blowns, I guess, was the only thing we wanted to dodge, but yeah. And then I hit a Mewtwo deck to start to day two. And again, similar scenario where like my 40's stuck. All the Mewtwo I play against trying to set up Megalopunny. But I only have two, like either one or two TinaChomps in play, and that's it. So it didn't really do anything. But yeah, wasn't a super eventful set. Sorry, I just took that one home. Round 11 was weird because I hit a Trevnor Mismagius. So game one, he got to be the first one to go. He went first. He popped his Mismagius. He got the surge turns. He did what he wanted to do. He ended up I ended up messing up pretty hard, and rather than knocking out his active, I got greedy and put 40 on the bench. Buzzmosa, and I forgot that he could do a full thing where he goes Stamp Beautiful War, Jesse James, Trevnor, and he did all that in the same turn. And I was like, oh no. And then I top decked a gear, which I had a bunch of outs in deck, and the gear netted me a Green's Exploration into the spinner to knock out his active, and then he brought the Buzzmosa and hit me, and then I did it again. I just pretty much had game in hand at that point. And then game two, he put me down to 4 turn with the stamp, and I pretty much scooped because I didn't have a chance. And then game three, I finally got to go first, and I did that to him. I put him down to 4 on turn one. I literally greens for both Dust Stones. I think I opened double Mischievous and tag call in hand. So I tag call for the TinaChomp, and I immediately went double pop. I went greens, double Dust Stone, pop, into attach stamp, power plant, and then he had to feed me like a baby blonde for a prize, and then he had to pop a Mismagius, and then the game ended like pretty much there. Like I killed the Trevnor pretty easily, and then he was put in a position where he couldn't do anything after that. So I go to 8-1, and then I go up against Jacob Chen playing the Stinger Persian Pidgey checkmate deck with Roxy. And game one, I take it pretty easily. Game two, I prize horrendously, like my Baby Blind and Nag GX or Nag Guzzer prize, so I don't have a chance. And then game three, I have a really good chance until the Stinger comes through, and the Stinger puts my Baby Blonde back into my prizes. I had like 3 turns to draw out of a stamp to 2, where I had the Naguz on bench. I needed to get an energy to pretty much just GX and win, and I couldn't find one, which kind of sucked. But it is what it is. Jacob also got top 16 with me. So, and then round 13, I go up against John Ang playing his Mewtwo deck. He hit Welder every turn, but he just couldn't capitalize on anything. And I just pretty much did what I did against all the other Mewtwo's and poked him down and took advantage of the game. And the last round, I got up paired into Preston playing Roxy Checkmate. Game one, he went for a very weird strategy where he went for just aggressive Persians. And I prized Malalana, so his 4th TCE, he had like 10, 11 cards in deck. And I stamped him to 1. And then he had 2 Pidgeys out. So he drew. He went Airmail. He went Tate and Liza after that immediately. Drew his 5, and then Airmail and got it. And I was like, okay. And then game 2, I just opened the Baby Blonde, and I just spread. I opened Mischievous Baby Blonde. And I just opted open Baby Blonde, and I just went spread. Didn't take a prize until I needed to. Forced him to use the Persian to come up early enough where he bench-locked himself at that point. So I just kind of slowly took all my prizes. He didn't concede because he knew time was coming up, and a lot of people around us were tying. So 30s could start making it. And then game 3, I was in a very favorable board state to kind of take it home. And Preston took the tie because 30s, I think like 3 other tables tied. So 30s could make it actually, but he ended up bubbling. So It is what it is. Justin made top 8. I think we were a little bit scared of the Malamar deck, but he rattled through ADP. ADP, the Melcario matchup was weird in the finals. I don't really know. I was watching. I didn't really get what was going on. But Justin ended up winning the entire tournament. No sweat, actually, so I'm super proud of him. Entire credit goes to Joao, Gabriel, Kian, and Justin for working on the list really hard. And I mean, all I can say is this is the only contribution I made to the deck. But the deck was an incredibly good medical. It was really hard to play. We are done with majors for the standard format. So if you do want to put time into learning a deck, this could be one to take with you to cups for the rest of the season. I don't know how much you want to do stuff. So yeah, that's all I have for me. I'm going to probably try to put some more content out now that we have no tournaments for a little bit. But hopefully you guys can catch me back on the flip side. I'm taking a break from coaching and all that to enjoy life for a little bit. But yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys so much for watching.